Christmas is right around the corner, so make sure you are buying your special someone or even yourself a nice little gift this year, not to promote consumerism too much. Okay, maybe spread some cheer, be nice to someone at least. Hey there, welcome back to True North Reviews. My name is Ryan, and today we are doing an episode of Hot and Cold. This is a video series I like to do where I talk about the best and worst music I've heard over the past week. The hot being the best, the worst being the cold, and some middle of the road tracks as well. This week we'll be talking about any songs released between November 24th and 30th, 2019. As per usual, the songs will be linked down in the description. If you want to check out any of these songs, feel free to do so. Let me know what you think of them, and yeah, recommend songs for future episodes when those songs are coming out. First up with the hot tracks this week, I'm going to be talking about two new singles from The Weeknd, Heartless and Blinding Lights. Yeah, these two tracks dropped last week. Ideally, they should have been dropped on the weekend. Regardless, both tracks are great in my opinion. Heartless came out a couple days before Blinding Lights did. I like this one a bit more, I think. I also did a track review of that, so if you want to check that out, I will have it on the screen. But yeah, why I like Heartless more than Blinding Lights at this point thus far, I would say it's because of the hip-hop production. Blinding Lights is pretty 80s inspired. I don't think Abel is treading new water as much as he likes to think he is doing at this point. He might be in a bit of a stylistic rut, a bit harsh of a way of putting it, because the music is still good either way. I realize whatever this stylistic choice here of staying the same based on what his last album was, it's something that works for him. It's his formula. He's going to stick with it. Why would he go off course from that? I guess what I'm criticizing here is that, The Weeknd, he said that this would be like a brain-melting psychosis era of music, and I'm not really hearing that yet. I kind of just still see him in this awkward love triangle with JB and Selena. A little bit of Bella Hadid issues in there too. And is it just me, or is it that celebrities, they're always in like this situation of unrequited love? First we had Selena talking about JB, and now we have The Weeknd talking about Selena. It's like one's chasing after another. Anyways, the music, if I'm talking about the music, it's great. If I get too caught up in the celebrity status, insert Mariana's Trench, I'm not too big into that, I guess. The Weeknd tracks from this past week were great. I know there was a lot of criticism in there, but I do like the songs. Moving on from there, AWOLNATION released two singles, one being called California Halo Blue and the other Cars cover of Drive. California Halo Blue is, I would say, one of AWOLNATION's most straightforward songs. There's no eccentric yelling from Aaron Bruno. The chord structure and texture are pretty generic for alternative rock, but the tune is very catchy and compelling nonetheless. I also admire the Cars cover of Drive as well. It's a pretty faithful rendition of it. It's got a bit more of the futuristic electronic twist to it, so yeah, I recommend it. And lastly, for the hot tracks this week, we have a new single from the Canadian rock band Billy Talent. This one is entitled Forgiveness 1 and 2. This is a two-part song that could have been split into its components. The second half is much more post or math rock inspired. We have wrung out guitar tones, making a very atmospheric kind of sound, and some horns too. Pretty different for Billy Talent, pretty ambitious this late into their careers, mixing up their style. But their core sound is still there, especially on the first half of Forgiveness, the part 1, and it makes it quite palatable. So if you are an old fan, you can get a lot of enjoyment out of the first half of the track, but you can also be opened up to something different on the second part of it. All right, moving on to the middle of the road tracks this past week. These are songs that I thought were okay, not amazing, not terrible. First up, we have a first dance remix of Taylor Swift's Lover. I feel like at this point, the label and industry are absolutely trying to push this as the next wedding song. It's comparable to what Ed Sheeran's Perfect was last year. Pretty plain and vanilla romance song. This Taylor Swift song, though, in comparison, is pretty decent, though. I liked it a fair amount when it first dropped as part of the album Lover. And with this remix here, we've definitely ramped up the amounts of string instrumentation, and we've shifted this focus to the piano. Let's put it out there right now. It's much better than the Shawn Mendes remix. I didn't like that one at all. And really, this song, my thoughts on it, I guess, I'm kind of shocked why the label keeps pushing this song to be the next big Taylor Swift single. Like, she already performed it at the AMAs. We're getting numerous remixes at this point too. Yeah, I don't know. There are better songs, in my opinion, on Lover, like Paper Rings, Cruel Summer. I think maybe Taylor Swift's promotional team got frustrated with how they couldn't land a #1 over the summer with Me or You Need to Calm Down. You know, these bright and pastel songs, they were just stifled by Old Town Road. So I guess the next best way to hit the charts is with a romantic song. I'm indifferent to it, I guess. It's decent. All right, next up, Bombay Bicycle Club have a new single out. It's called Everything Else Has Gone Wrong. This one has a bit of an electronic tinge to it, although it is alternative rock. Decent chorus on this one. I just feel like it is lacking some substance to keep me fully engaged while listening. The last middle of the road track I want to talk about is Mia, or Missing in Action, MIA, by Drake Bell. This one technically came out a couple weeks ago, but I have to mention this track because I've been a big Drake Bell fan over the years. Of course, Drake and Josh, kind of grew up with that show a little bit, but I also saw him take on this musical career outside of that show, even though he kind of is that boy playing rock and roll. I think he came out with like a covers album earlier this decade, but it's kind of weird to see him transition into this point where on this new song, at least, Missing in Action, he's making references to the Latin trend of Despacito, which is a little odd to hear. He's kind of chasing trends at this point with that. His vocal delivery, pretty unoriginal. I guess what the saving grace of this song is for me is how catchy the chorus is. And yeah, cold tracks for this week, the worst of the worst. There's only one song I have to highlight. Thankfully, it was a pretty uneventful week in music releases, but Deadmau5, he has a new song out. It's called Fall. This track is long-winded in its runtime, it is stagnant in its dynamics, and there are no lyrics to keep it interesting. So yeah, there's hot and cold for this week. Make sure you sound off down below in the comments. Let me know what you think of these songs. While you're at it, leave a like if you like today's video, subscribe if you're new in town. I'll catch you next time. Have a rockin' day.